Special elections. They're, well, special. And it's not just because they take place outside of the typical election calendar. Special elections can make household names out of otherwise unknowns, like these guys. And they offer the parties the chance to test drive their messaging and policies before taking them national. So what can the 10 special elections that we've already had this cycle tell us about November? Let's go inside the forecast. Voters in a southern Minnesota special election chose Republican Brad Finstad over Democrat Jeff Ettinger. Finstad won by about 4 points. A good result for Republicans, right? Well, maybe not. See, former President Donald Trump carried that district by 10 points in 2020. And if the Biden-era elections are supposed to bring a so-called red wave, you'd expect to see Republicans do a little bit better than that. So even though that's one victory for Republicans, it comes with a big asterisk. For now, I'm calling the race in November likely Republican. Next, Nebraska, where there also wasn't any sign of a red wave. Republican Mike Flood beat Democrat Patty Pansing-Brooks by about 5 points. But this was a district Trump won by 15 points. This one is also likely Republican in November, but it's worth noting that Flood's new seat is slightly less Republican after redistricting than the one he captured in the June special election. So another hold for Republicans, but a sliver of good news for Democrats. If you're looking for evidence of GOP overperformance, check out South Texas in June. Republicans flipped a Democratic district when Mayra Flores beat Democrat Dan Sanchez. Republicans won the district by 5 points, even though President Joe Biden carried it by 4 points in 2020. Republicans also overperformed in California, where Connie Conway won a special election to replace Devin Nunes after Nunes resigned his seat to become CEO of Trump's new tech company. Conway won her election by 22 points, even though Trump only carried the seat by 6. Now those results sound pretty bad for Democrats this fall, but Flores and Conway may not be in Congress for long. In California, redistricting essentially eliminated Conway's seat, and she isn't running for a full term. And in Texas, Flores will be fighting for a Biden plus 16 seat against another incumbent, Democratic Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, this November. South Texas is quickly moving toward Republicans. I recently moved the race from likely Democratic to lean Democratic, but Gonzalez is still the favorite here. It's not just special elections that produce midterm tea leaves. 3 West Coast states have held all-party primaries: Alaska, California, and Washington. And while Republicans made some gains, Democrats have mostly held their own. For example, Republicans have been crowing about taking out Democratic Senator Patty Murray in Washington state. But even with half a dozen other Democrats on the ballot, Murray still got more than 50% of the vote in the primary. I'm keeping Murray's race at likely Democratic. There weren't signs in the primary of a big enough GOP wave to take her out. In that case, let's consider the August 23rd special election in New York's 19th congressional district a tiebreaker. Both parties are actively competing for the seat, which was vacated when Democrat Antonio Delgado became lieutenant governor earlier this year. The Republican nominee, Mark Molinaro, is running on inflation and as a check on Democratic control of Washington. Democrat Pat Ryan, meanwhile, is highlighting Molinaro's opposition to abortion rights, hoping to harness dissatisfaction with the unpopular Supreme Court decision in Dobbs. Under the old lines, Biden won the district by only 2 points. In the new map, Biden would have carried it by a little bigger margin, 5 points. I currently have it rated as a toss-up, but I'll be revisiting that rating after the special election. Yes, this is just one district in New York's Hudson Valley, and it's not necessarily representative of the rest of the country. But it's the best distillation of the midterm battlefield post-Dobbs. Republicans still hyper-focused on inflation in the economy, while Democrats run on abortion and what they see as other examples of GOP overreach and extremism. After August 23rd, there aren't any more special elections for Congress until November. So other than polling, this could be our last real check-in with the electorate until the midterms. And with both parties still honing their playbooks, what happens in upstate New York may not stay in upstate New York. Until next time, I'm Steve Shepard.